Season 4, Episode 20 of Moshi Podcast Desk.
Oh, 20.
I'm Zach. Yeah, I didn't even think about that until you just said that. I really should have.
Why I'm your co-host. This is why I have the mind. My name is Lincoln, by the way. Lincoln Edwards, part of the Edwards clan. The Edwards clan.
The Edwards clan. Coming soon to a theater near you. The Edwards clan.
I would probably never put it as people are gonna be like, is this a fucking KKK movie? They made it. Why would they put it in theaters? And then you just see a black guy like, oh, his name is Edwards. I don't know what this says about us.
I don't know. I mean,
but I do know 100% that if anyone sees my name on a resume, they're not thinking Negro. or my favorite orientation, Afro-American. I never. I kid you not, that was on the SAT. I was like, Lincoln just walked past, just like African American racist.
You just get up in the middle of the SAT and you go to the test proctor and you just rip it slowly in front of them and look them dead in the eyes and they're like, sir, what are you doing? And you're just like, Afro, and then you just walk out.
you just go, Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah. You're like, does this look like an Afro to you?
Does this look like an Afro to you? Well, it kind of does. Can I touch it? No! Like, what people touching people's hair for, man? Like I'm a goddamn horse. Neigh for me once?
Neigh. Hey, some people are into that, and I don't judge or kink shame. If you like petting someone,
that is a very specific fetish. Like, I want you to pet me.
Pet me.
They don't even call me like. They don't even call the hair. They like. I want you to touch my mane so I can neigh like a pony. Then ride me.
Bronies after dark. Coming soon to HBO Max.
Bronies after dark. So on this episode, we saw Fluttershy for the.
Let's just say she wasn't Fluttershy. Oh, hey, Applejack. Cancel. You don't want to know what we do with Applejack.
Make applesauce. Okay, on to Invincible.
Invincible on Amazon Prime.
Wee. I'm Invincible. I've always knew. I'm kidding. Well, so, without spoilers, wait, what?
Oh no, I was gonna say before you start, I just want to establish this for the people listening or watching. I have never seen this, and Lincoln has seen the entire thing. So we are gonna try to see if Lincoln can do this without spoiling major plot points. And also convince me to watch it.
The main character's name is Mark. Oh, shit, spoiled it.
No. Oh, what? Dude, I'm supposed to find that out in the first episode. My whole immersion is ruined. Like when I went to Star Wars, and I knew that, Han Solo was going to die, thanks to my brother-in-law. And, it ruined the immersion, because I'm like, that's a big moment. And little did I know the other two movies would suck to the level that
Wait, did you really not know Han Solo was going to die?
No, I did know he was going to die. That's the problem.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Oh, well.
I'm sorry. It didn't actually ruin the movie for me. The movie was fine. The first.
Just saying it was fine. I mean, you didn't watch it. It was trailer. No, I'm kidding. What they did with Finn was okay.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Hey, let's introduce a character, and he's a minority. He's going to be important for one movie. One movie.
Hey, let's introduce a mystery plot about our other main character. Oh wait, it's not Luke's daughter. Why would it be? Fucking.
Oh, you thought the Skywalker saga was about Rey? No, it's about Luke. Who else do you think it's about?
It's about Luke, who dies because he turns into he was an illusion, and then he ceases to exist because he exerts himself. I'm like, what kind of Also, the guy who was so stupid, he just like, oh, did I just shot a fucking hologram? Didn't know because I'm crazed with evil intent. I'm like,
here's my hot take. Luke Skywalker is Jesus Christ.
Ooh.
He resurrected.
Woo. Well, technically, that would be opposite. Like, that would be
Actually.
like the weirdest. He would not be Jesus Christ because Anakin was the devil.
Okay,
he
maybe
was the chosen one.
maybe Luke was Michelangelo and he had to kick the devil out. He had to get Darth Vader and give him a little 1-2 and get him out of heaven.
Yes.
I don't know.
So Invincible,
It's getting biblical. I don't.
It's getting biblical, not in a good sense. Not in the church. Somebody got to save me now, Jesus. I'm sorry, really copyright.
First, we're talking about Invincible. The psalms and hymns will come later at the end of the show, so stick around and let's praise
Jesus deaths.
Yeah, let's
the
praise
Christianity.
together. Moshi Jesus does.
The Christianity podcast is day 10,000, and we're still waiting for our Lord and Savior.
Look, it's called faith for a reason.
Whoa, dude, the rapture, that shit is amazing. Like, side note, I'm going to get on this, but I always loved, like, when we used to be able to go to church because there was no fucking COVID. My priest was like, I can't wait for the rapture. I'm like, oh no, I've read Revelations. You can wait your mirror behind. I'm not having this happen. No angels coming up for me. And how dare you think you're going to be one of the people who get chosen? Like, you don't know how that balancing fucking system's going. Like, oh, did you do this sin? Guess you're going to stay on earth. While the fucking devil rapes people, you still believe?
I just envision raptures happening. You walk out the front door of your house with a cup of coffee and you see it and you're like, nope, not today. So you just walk back in.
And they have the Mr. Brightside. Dun, 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 dun.
Maybe next week, not today.
Not today. But yeah, so Mark, he is the son of Omni-Man, which I have to give props. How they keep making up superhero names that I was like, Omni-Man? They just got that from a hat and was like, this is new. This is fucking new. No one's going to know what it means. But yeah, so son of Omni-Man. So he wanted to see if he gets his powers. We were going to have this high school thing. So we're like, oh, this is going to be a coming of age story. And then the ending of the first episode came out and we're like, oh, this is the shocker. Okay, we're gonna have some big reveals and some hard lessons coming through on what's going to happen with Mark and the fact that like his father is not who he seems to be. The Omni-Man is alive, which is funny because Invincible is pretty like, even though this comic came out way before The Boys was ever put on Amazon Prime, another show you should watch on Amazon Prime. They do not sponsor me. Sponsor me. I'll talk about all your shows. The 2 shows that I know on Amazon Prime. They don't have a lot of content. And I use them for shipping. To be honest, that's why anyone had Amazon Prime for a long time. You came out in college and said, here's this thing you barely ever have to pay for. And we're like, tell us more. But yes, so it's like The Boys, how like this guy is almost like Homelander. If you do not know what Homelander is, think about if Superman was actually as evil as Lex Luthor said he was the whole fucking time. Yeah. So he's like, Omni-Man, he comes from a different planet, and you're like, he's an upstanding gentleman. He's the hero of heroes. Even though there are others heroes, which they're the Guardians, which I will not talk about what happens to them. That's spoiling.
You better not.
Or the spoiler hour would take me. Ah! You're like, no! But the savior of spoilers. And that's when Luke just takes you. You're like, oh shit. But anyway,
like, why am I levitating? Oh, is that Luke Skywalker?
Why am I love it. Why am I like, you're so in shock that your brain talks rationally even though you're freaking out. It seems like I've been lifted into the sky. Peculiar. Strange. Oh, and I've just emptied out my bowels. these are new projections.
Luke goes, look, it happens. It happens to everyone every single time. So just don't worry about it. I mean, I got used to the smell, but it's only going to be temporary.
He lived some. Anyway, but yeah. So Mark is getting his powers and everything, and you're like, oh, it's not a coming of age story. And even though his name is Invincible, he's anything but like this. Not as a spoiler, but like. This turns on the hands of like, oh, he's a superhero. He can fly, he can punch and things, but he meets a lot of people who kick his proverbial ass a lot. Like he's still a teenager. Shit goes wrong a lot of times, and there's a whole even system. That it's bad when there's a system of things like there's a secret organization, not really secret because they're kind of in the light of day, where they're just like, oh, the hero got beaten up, we will fix him up because that just happens on a daily. Like when you watch Justice League and you see like the super. Barely even Batman gets his ass beat a lot. Like he's like, yes, Alfred stitches him up, but it doesn't seem like a really bad stitch up. Anytime he even fought Bane, Bane broke his back, and 2 weeks later he's like, "I'm standing, you piece of shit. Fuck you."
It's like, yeah, he's invincible. Actually, no, Superman. Superman's a good example of invincible.
Oh yeah, no, and Superman. Does he ever feel... No. Again, as we've stated many episodes, this man was speared through all his insides, and all he needed was a little sunlight, and he was back in his brain. Like, what the fuck? But yeah, so Invincible, like, has parts. So it's like, he gets his ass beat, he gets betrayed, and all this other stuff like this. Of course, there's drama, because... This is why I always love the fact that like a lot of places put teenagers as like, well, they're gonna fall in love and things are gonna be so serious and stuff like that. Because only as a teenager will you have these stupid thoughts. As a grown person, like you should not be like, oh, she didn't talk to me for the day. Life is over.
Like way over dramatic. Like,
well, there was a part like, and that's by the way, like there's a part where like. You have to deal with the whole secret identity thing with Mark, and it's like, well, you should have told me before. I'm like, secrets identity. This is Hero 101. You don't tell people. Oh well, I've been dating you for like 2 weeks. I'm a hero. Yes, a superhero. Omni-Man is my dad. Oh, did you know that Omni-Man and the guy you see that's my father look kind of the same? Because they are. Like, come on, man! You don't just tell people your secret identity, and when they find out about your secret identity, they're just supposed to be like, "Yeah, that kind of makes sense. You didn't tell me." Like, I always hated the fact that they all pissy about it. Like, oh, how could you not trust me with the sole reason why you're a superhero? Why wouldn't you tell me? I'm like, well, I didn't want you to know. Also, I don't want other people to know that you're a necessity of me. Because they will come after you.
Exactly.
And I don't care how strong you think you are, spirit, they can hurt you a lot. The fact that Aunt May got fucked over every goddamn... Which I always find was hilarious because Aunt May didn't know Peter Parker was Spider-Man, but Aunt May just happened to always be in bad situations. Like, I stole this old woman.
But you know what just would be interesting now just crossed my mind. What if they did an alternate reality Spider-Man comic where Uncle Ben never dies, but he becomes a superhero? So it's like strong ass Uncle Ben protects the home while.
So you're like a Flashpoint paradox thing where Batman was the one that was killed. Well, sorry, Bruce Wayne was the one that was killed, and his father, which I think is John Wayne.
No, that's a movie actor who died 30 years ago. Or no, more than 30 years ago.
Well, they could use the name. I don't fucking... It's comics.
I'm gonna search it up because you might be right.
But yeah, Bruce Wayne's father becomes the actual Batman, and I was like, okay, it's understandable that your son who became an orphan saw bats and said, I'm going to dress up as a Batman. But it's kind of weird for a grown-ass man who had lost his son and also his, well, I guess his wife his wife did become the Joker in that situation.
Wait, what? What?
You never seen Flashpoint Paradox?
No. Explain it to me right now.
Okay, so Flash goes back in time, saves his mother from dying, causes the whole fucking paradox shit to happen, where apparently it also affects other heroes. So Bruce Wayne, instead of his parents dying, Bruce Wayne died, and his father takes the mantle of being Batman. But that scene where the daughter, well, not daughter, sorry, where Bruce Wayne dies, breaks the mother completely. And she becomes the Joker because that was just one too many hits of the old noggin.
I mean,
I was like, how do you become manic? Like, okay, the death of your son, okay, yeah, I understand. But like, dude, like, there's normal crazy and there's Joker crazy. You know, like, and I don't think, bam. Oh, this is it. I'm going mad. I mean, that's exceptionally mad.
That sounds like an interesting spin on the Batman universe. By the way, his name is Thomas Wayne.
Oh, it's Thomas Wayne. And I should have remembered that because I think he named somebody else like off that whole Thomas Wayne. Oh wait, no, it's fucking Iron Man. Which a lot of people won't know that about Tony Stark is that Tony is not an only child, and apparently there's a brother of Tony. It's a weird story with that whole like, well, no, technically Tony Stark has a brother who's also named after his father. I'm like,
but he's surprisingly a priest, and his armor, he calls himself Brother Man.
that's a lot.
Are you kidding me? It's in the Essential Marvel universe.
Shut up before people.
You ever read that?
But yeah, so like Invincible, like there's a reason why it got its second season and third season announced in the same day, because that shit did well. Like people watched that shit, they were like, "This is the greatest thing I've ever seen." Stop all the presses. When Friday came out, which was fun because they did the Friday and they were like, "Okay, we're gonna show you 3 episodes on the premiere of Friday." I watched all episodes in the first of seeing it because I was like, call me #hooked.
Lincoln is #live tweeting the show as he's watching it.
Greatest thing I've ever seen. So like because it like of course it's superhero genre, and to be honest, superhero genre is getting to the point where like zombie genre, those times when zombie was like, every other fucking movie's a zombie movie. Woo! Zombies!
I'm not even a big fan of the zombie genre as a whole. Although I think Left 4 Dead is cool, and like Dead to whatever the other game was.
Dead Rising,
those are cool. I just like those two things. I hate The Walking Dead. I don't like Walking Dead. World War Z is okay. It's not bad. It's cool.
Shit, that's a bold ass take. I know a lot of people.
That's a hot take.
Zach's like, cancel him again.
I wipe my ass with The Walking Dead. I don't know why I would, because the value of the comic book would go down significantly.
But you don't care. That's how much you're like, fuck this thing. But no, like, the zombie genre was like being overplayed. I think my kryptonite of the zombie genre was when they made the movie R, which wasn't a bad movie, but the fact that they wanted to tell me, a person who knows of the fiction and all the shit of zombies, well, they became zombies because of a virus, but to cure that virus, all they needed to do was find love. I'm like, that's how it works! I was so angry. I was like, I'm done with this genre. I'm done with all like, and then like World War Z came out. I was like, fuck this. Like because I thought 28 Days Later was bullshit. Where they're like they run at the speed of a fucking track star. I thought that was no World War Z. They run really fast to the point where if you're on a fucking helicopter, like boom, as a fucking tower, a bridge of people just. I was like, what the fuck is this? And then. Their only weakness was, does that man have a cold? I ain't biting him. I was like, what?
I think Well, I think when you name a movie World War, you kind of have to go like balls out with like, we're just gonna put so many zombies, you don't even know what the hell to do with yourself.
I was because they ran at like speeds of like a fucking mini flash, like he just bites somebody, gone with his ass, tear through his fucking his neck. I didn't even need that. What the fuck is going? And then just because you have a sickness, they literally part this Red Seas on your ass. Like, nah, fuck you. No, I was like, the fuck.
Move
But
on.
yes, but zombie, like the zombie genre, you're like, okay, this is crazy, and that's kind of happening now with the superhero genre, where like it's so popular. There's Marvel made it like, oh yeah, we came back with an MC fucking you, baby. We're bringing fucking comic book heroes left and fucking right up in this shit.
People
and,
you
like,
never knew. People
oh,
you always knew.
He's like, you always wanted a Doctor Strange movie since the fucking 70s. We brought you a fucking like it was crazy.
It's like,
and they keep doing it like, and DC even tried to be like, we're gonna make our own cinematic universe. It's gonna be great. I don't know why I'm going with like fucking
Donald Trump voice, like it's gonna be the biggest. It's gonna be the
biggest fucking cinematic universe ever. We're gonna completely beat Marvel, and
we're gonna be grittier and darker. And then once we
Yes,
realize that didn't
yes.
work, we're gonna be the same as Marvel, but not as good. And then we don't even know what we're doing now.
we're gonna make it dark, but then have funny moments in it, which don't really work well because of how dark we made it. It's like crazy. But yeah, no, there was so many superhero movies and so many superhero things. And you're like, okay, I'm over. I'm done. And then they came with the boys. We're like, we're gonna turn this on our heads. We're gonna have like, yeah, they're superheroes. They're doing stuff, but at the same time, they have to deal with real physics. Like, if you are to run the speed of a goddamn moving train, and you hit something, it eviscerates from existence. That's just how it happens.
Blows up.
You're gonna kill a lot of people. And Homeland, Homelander is pretty much like we talked about with Star Wars, but like the fact is like, hey, if you make a pretty much diabolical child with the powers of a god and go, don't hurt anybody, but we're also not going to give you any parental or love. Hope that doesn't affect your development. No hugs. Like,
no hugs allowed, damn it.
Like it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad for the child development and what he's going to become, which is like a man baby. He is a man baby with the powers of a god.
I think that would have been a great superhero name. A man baby.
Man baby! He has all the powers of a baby in the form of a...
He holds like...
Super crying.
holds a rattle and it's like... Ah!
Yeah, super crying. That very, very strong grip that babies have out of nowhere.
He can crush apples. Insane. Baby strength.
Baby strength.
Oh.
I'm going to die from that. Man, baby.
Man, baby.
But why are you saying like he's a man, baby? Because dude, the guy, it was a weird thing. He had a fetish with like the milk. I was like, okay. I feel personally attacked. No, but yeah, no. So that was a good turn on this. And Invincible, even though again, this is a comic book that's fully done, and then now making a real life, well, not real life. It's our animated adaptation. And if you ever watched the series, you'll know why that could never be real life, because the amount of gore. People get their heads busted wide open. No, not a spoiler. It's in the trailer. It's in the fucking trailer. I was like,
it's to be expected. Well, okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but you have the comic, right?
No.
I thought you did.
You are wrong. No.
Oh, no, you have Empowered. You have Empowered.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you had Invincible.
Which I'm pretty sure... that's not going to become ever animated thing, because nothing wrong with Empowered. Empowered is a very good comic. I would love to... if you haven't seen that graphic novel, read the graphic novel, even though it's weird because Adam Warren, which is the creator of Empower, is like he doesn't want his thing to be popular because the niche that comes with popularity. I'm like, I get it, but also money.
Right.
Like, which is it's a weird thing. You have this problem because you are a manga artist. If you never know, he makes his own manga. What's the manga?
Well, it's called Perfect Hand, and it's not really a manga; it's a comic, but it's drawn in.
Okay.
It's drawn in the style of manga. That's the proper way to put it.
I forget that he's a purist, and he's like, no. I don't make manga. I don't make manga. Graphic novels or comics.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So he makes his own comic, and he can understand like there's a problem with popularity of just like people loving your shit, and then you have to deal with the fandom. Yes. Like yourself. It's like you have to deal with the fandom. Like that's the problem with popularity because they're going to get people who are like, okay, I understand that you made a clear definition of who the couple structure is going to be. But what about if you make your character gay? Have you thought about that? I think you need to make them gay. I'm like, there's no clear indication that they would be gay. Also, who would they be gay with? Oh, that other character you made. You mean the villain? You mean the fucking main villain who killed his father? You want him? Yes, they should have the hot. I just said he killed his father. But yes, that's the shit that comes from popularity. Where if you're not really popular, if you're underground, you can literally make any story you want and be like, "Yep, they're just gonna accept it or not," and I don't care.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yes.
Yeah, that's kind of with my story. I just do whatever I want, but I don't really do that. I don't do what you're describing, where it's like I'm just gonna make a character this because I have to because people want
that's
it.
what I'm saying. No, but that's what I'm saying is the problem with popularity.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying you do that. I'm saying that's what the fandom.
Oh no! I get what you're saying. I'm just saying it from my perspective. I totally get it. Cause
oh yeah, no, I would, dude. I'm 100% with you on that. If I make something and the fandom can want whatever the fuck it wants. You can make your own fan fiction. They have fucking media for that. I'm not doing it. Like I'm not. I will take your suggestions, hands down. But if it doesn't fit the story, I'm not gonna fucking change my story to be like, let's fit the fandom.
Yeah, I mean my take on it has always been, it's like, look, I'm going to write the story that I want to write from start to finish.
Yep.
You're going to like it or not like it, and that's on you. And I totally respect. If somebody read my comic and was like, I just hate it. Issue 3 just ruined it for me. I'd be like, cool.
That's cool.
It ain't gonna change how I write the story.
Well, yeah, dude, because like you have to know, like it's your baby. Like I'm gonna do this. Like it's not harming nobody.
Yeah.
Maybe paper cuts, but that's on you. Get gloves.
Yeah,
I have that joke in the back. Like
you were waiting
like,
years.
But yes, but yeah, same thing with Invincible. Like this is a ready-made comic or graphic novel, whatever. So don't expect they're going to change things. They're just going to fit the comic into pretty much like, which is good that it's finished because then we don't get filler episodes or filler series, and they're not going to. What about this? What about if we make Doomsday the breath child of Lex Luthor and General Zod? Have you thought about that? How about fuck you?
Wait, was that a real filler episode of Justice
No,
League?
that was Batman versus Superman. That was
okay. Well, which is even worse because it's not filler. It was an actual movie, a movie that I saw and cannot remember the plot of, obviously, because it was so bad.
Oh, dude, that was the first movie in a long time where I was like, I could leave. I had to contemplate. I was like, I was gonna leave the movie theater, come back to the movie theater to pick up my mother. This is what I was thinking because I still didn't want to be there. I was like, I don't want to be here. Like, I know my mother's watching this, and she's just like, men are on television. She's not a fan. Which I wouldn't expect her to be.
Low.
I wouldn't
Men are on the screen. Movie.
Like, to be honest, I don't expect my mom to be a fan of something. Like, she's gonna watch it like because she's seen these characters, but she's not gonna be like me, who's like, I've read every comic, which I'm not like that, but still. But yeah, so Invincible has a finished story. So of course I'm ready to see season 2, season 3. Bring that shit out. Just don't do like what they did with the boys, where they kept doing a trail like all the episodes are out. But of course they did week by week because that's just how some shows do it now. Which again, no problem about it. Just don't do false advertisement because people got really fucking pissed. They're like, I came here to watch the whole fucking season, and you're telling me it's just episode by episode? Like, I was like, okay, calm down. We had this happen in other shows. Hey, be happy you didn't have what most CW does: mid-season finale, 4 more months. Oh, we have 2 episodes of the fucking finale. Now the series finale. I'm like, what was the point of this? Like, why split it like this?
It's cheaper. that's the only thing I can do.
Cheaper, I guess, and time like
less episodes, less
rest.
money.
It gives them time to rest because we can't be like Japan where we're just like, hey, I noticed you stopped your season and there's nothing really up anymore. We could stop it here. Or we could pay something to make fillers for 3 goddamn months.
To be honest, though, that only applies to the anime stuff. To like the actual regular shows,
I would hate if they did that with regular shows.
Yeah.
You can't tell me to act and be. This ain't actually worth anything. Like, we just need you to do fun what ifs.
Yeah, right. Like if Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had fillers in between when because they would do that too. It's like the mid-season finale before like the holidays, and I'm like, no, give me my shield. Why do I have a shield?
Give me my shield.
We need it. find out what Coulson did in Tahiti. And he's just like buying drinks at a bar and hanging on the beach, and nothing's happening. It's just 4 weeks of him on a beach.
Give me my shield so me and my friend can talk about it on the podcast.
Give me my shield.
I don't know why I'm saying this, but yeah.
It's me, Coulson.
Yeah, but speaking of anime or manga in general, as a little moment, rest in peace, the creator.
Yes.
Of Berserk.
Wrote it, drew it, whole thing.
Yeah, pretty much. To be honest, I was surprised when someone was like, oh, this show, a lot of the series is done. Like, they're not writing anymore because they died at 54, which I guess I can say this now as being like an older person because back in my 20s, I would think 54 is like old as shit. But now, like, days, I'm like, 54 is like barely the middle of your years. Like, that's a young age to die. Like, some people have not done shit and they're 54. Yeah. Like, hell, the KFC guy, or sorry, not the KFC guy, the guy who made KFC, didn't, like, one day you're like, oh yeah, his job, like, he actually became profitable at 65. I'm like,
Lincoln's like, oh no. I can't be waiting this long.
65 and not like have done. Oh God, I'm already hating the fact that I'm 30. I'm just like, I don't have a family. Which hate that shit at work. I just hate that shit. Like, we're like, oh, you're 30. Shouldn't you have kids? I'm like, no. Do I have money to take care of these kids? Fuck, do you think I should? Most people are like, shouldn't you be on your second marriage? Like,
it's like, damn it, Brenda. If I could afford it, I would. That's what I would say. That's what.
So like he died at 54.
Yes.
Berserk was a. Is a phenomenal anime.
Well,
even though they fucked it over in 2016 rendition of that shit.
Yeah. No. I mean, like the anime is. The original anime is great. Mm-hmm. The manga is great. But I mean, like I said before, the 2016 anime, I think that was the cause here for,
Oh, okay.
I know.
We're not doing that.
It's too soon. It's too soon. Like we were discussing before the show, I've heard people, so many people eulogizing and, basically showing their Berserk fandom and how much they love the series. But some people have come out and brought up the fact of, oh, this is what the manga industry does to people and blah blah, and using this as like a
platform.
A platform to speak out about manga artists, blah blah blah. And it's like, look at it this way, okay? The artists make this decision. to do this for their lives. As someone who draws a comic book, in that position, I willingly would probably do the same thing, knowing damn well that my health would be at risk. So,
oh yes,
I think, yeah,
yes.
I think people just need to sort of stop with the this.
They need the context. They need the
yes.
like.
This is what the manga industry does to you. It's like no. The artist made this decision. If they didn't want to be in an industry where they had tight deadlines, stress,
they can leave.
Health issues,
they can leave.
Yeah, you knew what you were getting into. Ichiro Oda has been doing One Piece for 20 years, 25 years, a long ass time. I mean, he has millions of studio people that do parts of it for him. Yeah. But I'm sure his health isn't fantastic all the time. And the guy who did Hunter x Hunter, Togashi, he literally stopped doing it.
The guy who did Evangelion, who went insane at the end of this thing. And again, yes, it is a creative thing. I'm like, yes, sometimes manga artists are a little bit with the deadlines and stuff like that. But that's why we have funny jokes like Frieza. If you never knew, Frieza's based off the guy's boss at that time. Was just like, yeah, fuck you. Like, but yeah, like, of course there's like that. But at the same time, as a creative person, like, in my natural thing, and I write stories too, and I can tell you full-heartedly, if I was getting paid to do a manga or paid to do a comic or anything of writing, yes, some of it is on the deadlines, yes. But other things are, if you ever had a creative idea, you will understand anytime you have a moment of rest, your brain's like, but what about the next chapter? like it constantly, like when you think of a manga artist, it's not like a lot of it, yes, okay, so they're making a comic, whatever, but they think about it all the time. There's reasons why they have notes. Like, I'm pretty sure most like comic people, especially if they've been doing something like One Piece, which I've made many a times where he's like, he remembers how they laugh. Like,
well,
you know, there's a fucking board somewhere, like with all these plot thugs. Like, there's especially like the fact that there's not like huge glaring plot holes. Like, you know, you have to be like, okay, what happened to the Alabasta?
But at a certain point, though, like, yes, you have to. When you're the out
you
front,
have to take some time. Yeah.
No. I'm saying when you're the number one, showpiece of the magazine, you can't afford to have continuity issues. That's one. Yes. Like, it doesn't surprise me that he remembers the laugh, so to speak. Because it's a part of the thing. Like, it's the level of quality at that level. There's manga artists that are independent or don't work for the bigger magazines and the bigger blah blah blah, who might have a different schedule. They might still be under the same stress and the same workload, but like, once again, I stress this again, the person doing it took this on with that in mind. So why are you taking it out?
They vouch themselves to it.
Yeah,
like it's a weird thing. Like, it's not like somebody forced them, like, hey, you know how to draw? Put a comic. Like, it's not like somebody's like, at the thing, write it.
And if you want to say, okay, this is the industry's fault, then maybe a manga artist should try to change the industry and change the standards and make it so that it isn't as crazy. But until that happens, it's like, this is the risk they take to put out the story, and this is what happens. But I'm not going to sit here when said person dies and make it about that, when it should be about, let's recognize the work.
And remember
the work.
Let's recognize the work, the artistry that goes in, the detail that every goddamn panel is. Yeah. The fact that this pretty much made a genre on its own, because, like, Berserk, to be honest, if it wasn't for things like Berserk, as Dead Souls would not exist. Like, let's be like, Dead Souls is a American version of Berserk. Like, you got the gritty ass fucking like atmosphere. The fact is, like, you alone must save yourself from this thing. You're like, what is that a tower? What is that? And the fucking things that Guts has to go through, like, of just his life. Like, and anyone could. I know I haven't experienced that, but, like, God knows if I wouldn't want to have a father who's like, hey, you see that 6-foot Buster sword? I need you to pick that up and kill me with it. What?
It's like, huh?
Oh, you're gonna be unarmed, right? No, I'm gonna also have the same fucking sword and have 40 years of like skill compared to you. Come on, little boy, fight me. I'm also not gonna hold back any of my punches.
Yeah,
but yeah, so in remembrance, rest in peace. You went too soon. As of course, 54 is like way too goddamn. I don't want that for any friends, family. Like, live as long as you can. If you need to steal the soul of a child,
it's and I mean, look, like the one thing that just crossed my mind that I can equate this to the best would be pro wrestlers, right? Pro wrestlers, pro wrestling is an art, first of all. So it's an art. You learn how to do it.
wrestling
You can
is
perfect
not
how to do
real,
it.
though.
Doesn't well, so is filmmaking and comics. And
no, I'm
everything.
joking.
But
I just wanted
no, I know, but I'm just setting that point here. But so wrestling's an art form. Pro wrestlers, in their own way, are artists. They're performance artists, live performance, all of that. Their characters, how they look, the colors, the lights, the whole deal. They know going in that, it's not easy. It's not easy being a wrestler. You wrestle 300 days a year. If you're wrestling for like WWE, you wrestle most of the year. But you wrestle on the indies. You struggle. If you get injured, who's going to pay your insurance? Because you have no insurance. These companies don't give insurance to wrestlers. They, what insurance company would insure wrestlers? Because you're going to get hurt. But, you're going to have bumps and bruises. There's old-time wrestlers who can't walk. Their hips are destroyed. Their knees are destroyed. Their necks are screwed up. But at the end of the day, if you ask any of them, okay, I want to say any because there's definitely some who
like this was the worst decision.
I'll put out Dynamite Kid as a perfect example of a wrestler who regrets his decisions and was bitter about the business until he died. But most wrestlers go into the business knowing this, and they do it because they love it and they want to express themselves or be the best. There's different reasons for why they get in, but they want to be there. They love the business. They want to do it. You want to be the champion, or you want to be the best comedic wrestler, or you want to do this and that. And to just say, well, the industry, it's the industry's fault. Wrestling is brutal. It should be on the... It's like... They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, and they're taking the risk to do what they love. And the same thing with manga. It's like, it's harsh. It's very harsh. I don't know personally if I could do it, like I said, but I would be willing to. But I could see myself having the same issues that a lot of these manga authors have. It's like, your health starts to decline. You're not getting enough sleep. It starts eating away at you. Like, I can see that, but it's a risk. You have to be willing to take a risk to do great things.
Oh, you're still you're still doing your dream, and it's even like as an example, people who do YouTube for a living or like creators. Even things of like Game Grumps where you're like, okay, they're playing a game that they love or that's frustrating, whatever. They're still doing it. But you still see them saying like, it's stressful. Like, you have to work a certain amount of hours and do a certain amount of things and have to deal with the company and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it takes a toll. Like, because this is, and it's not only like, okay, well, I'm just going to do things. You have to go to meetings. You have to have the editors and all these other stuff that go into the workload. And like, now you're pretty much a CEO of a company that's not actually a company. Like, no one understands how weird that is. Like, you don't actually have the fun of being a business where like, we can have bailouts. like it's just a weird thing of being a creator and going like, it's all on the shoulders of your shoulders. And like, then you got to put family into that mix. And it's like, oh boy, their livelihood is based off me. And what I can do. And the fact that if my hand cramps up, it's like, fuck.
But
it's crazy. But
yeah. So
it's not a good thing to use the platform like for this, unless you actually want to make changes and not just constantly go like, well, it's bad. Cool. How would you want to make it better? Like,
exactly.
How would you suggest making this better?
How would you, American manga fan who has no impact on the business, change the business? that's what, because most of this is like, this people on Twitter who are like, oh my god, look how crazy the manga industry is. I've read it since I was 13. So have I.
Yeah, like, and I've talked about like the word study, like of even just Japan in general. That's why I'm like, Japan, I would love to visit. Would never live there.
Hashtag cancel Lincoln trending in Japan. Not in America though. In America,
they're like, yeah, never leave our country. It's the greatest country in the world. Which I have to say, even though I'm not really national, like I am kind of that kind of person to be like, oh no, America sucks. And if somebody from non-America would be like, yeah, it really does suck. Shut the fuck up.
I like. Let's just refer to the rest of the world as non-America.
Even if you're in South America, you're not the true America.
You're not the America we know.
The USA. What about Canada, eh? No! Fuck off! I'm kidding.
We love Canada. We love South America.
I love everyone. Like, to be honest. It takes too much to hate. It takes too much time and effort, and I have to feed into the hate monster that's like, yes, let your hate fuel.
Let it fuel you for the rest of your days.
Yeah. I don't know whether... I could go into a whole nother thing because I said hate, but I don't know if you want to talk about Chad or if I want to talk about MODOK. You roll the dice. Or we could talk about Love, Death, and Robots. I don't know.
I'll bring up Chad because I just feel like I gotta talk about it. I just gotta bring this up.
So the opposite of hate, Chad.
Chad, for people that don't know, is it's a term used by the British. No, I'm joking. No, that's chaff or chaff. I don't know. I'm not British, so I got it wrong. And by all means, correct me.
I know Chad is a meme word. That's all I know.
Yes. CHAV is the British term.
Why are you talking about this?
I don't know. It just came up. But if that made you cringe, Chad will also make you cringe because that is what it is. It is cringe comedy. It's a genre of comedy that I don't think has been utilized in any television
especially
medium
not as the main
so
character,
far.
Because there's been cringe kind of worthy, like when Mildred started off and like the character who I can't remember what his name was, the kid who was like eccentric is the word I want to use. The smallest kid.
Wiggum. Whatever his name is.
Anyway,
I smell danger.
Yes. So yeah, when he had his whole thing. Yes, a lot of things he did was cringe, especially when he's getting older and he's like was going after girls and like. But again, he's not the main character. Chad is though. We were like, kid.
Chad is. It's interesting because it's like, I feel like there's so many different types of comedy, different genres of comedy. And even with like Adult Swim takes it to the extreme. Like Adult Swim is absurdist comedy, so where it's like, this shit don't make sense. It's funny because it don't make sense.
It's called put a little thing in that little stash, roll that up, take a little flash, and watch Adult Swim.
that was pretty good. You should actually put that on a t-shirt with like a little.
I don't remember what the fuck I just said. I just mumbled shit. I was a mumble rapper.
Somebody's gonna believe that. They're gonna be like looking you up like Lincoln Edwards mumble rap. Damn it! I can't find the album, Mom.
I found the album, Mother. Bring me my celebratory diaper.
Oh god!
I love that. Dude, it's a joke from Game Grumps. It's one of my favorite shit.
Lincoln, don't be a child.
Bring my celebratory diaper.
Don't be a chav or a chav. No, I'm just kidding.
Nah,
I'm not even using that in the correct context, but I don't care. But Chad,
Yes.
Chad,
Awkward Chad.
awkward. Yes, that's what the show should be called, awkward Chad.
No, it'd be too on the nose. you gotta open yourself into cringe and be like, this is a show about a coming of age story. Oh.
Yeah. But like I was saying, like Adult Swim has crazy absurdist comedy. There's just all different types of comedy. This is the first time that I've encountered a cringe comedy type of thing, and from the moment you start, you're like, "Ooh, this is just a weird guy and a weird premise." And it's a guy played by a woman, a female comedian who is Persian, so she's using parts of her experience and molding them into the story, which is kind of cool. I mean, I like that aspect. But she plays Chad. Because apparently she is short enough and looks young enough to be a 14-year-old boy, which is hilarious. But, which is, like, I remember the first time that I saw pictures or clips.
Oh, I did not know that was a female. Also, did not know it was
Yeah.
a comedian of any sort.
Like, because I was like,
I knew it wasn't a 14-year-old boy because from the times we've seen Drake and Josh and fucking Grease, we have learned that adults play teenagers. And I've been able to be like, yeah, no, I kind of noticed that John Travolta like shit.
Well, but this was the thing. I looked at it and I was like, okay, there's something off about this person.
Yes.
Like, I'm like, is this person, and I don't want to say off in a negative way, just off in like this. Are they trans?
Oh, I thought it was trans. Yeah,
yes,
no,
I thought 100%.
They were trans. I was like, I thought it was a pre-op or no post-op. Sorry,
like
post-op.
like the actress at Saved by the Bell.
Yes.
Like you were like, okay, something. Are they trans? And then you realize, oh wow, they were in that Disney show and they were a boy. So it changed over time.
You know the weirdest thing is, I only noticed that because of the eyes. I was like,
looks familiar.
And then like I saw the face structure and I'm like, I've seen this character before. I've seen this person before. And they're like, yeah, they're trans. I was like, oh.
But.
Okay.
But yeah,
but this one is not trans.
Yeah, this one's not trans. This is just her playing a guy, playing a boy. And but what was hilarious though was that in the very first episode there was a scene where like he goes to pick something up and I noticed the hand, like the top of the hand, and I'm like, oh, that's a dead giveaway that this is not a 14-year-old boy. It looks like an aged hand, if that makes sense. If you ever seen a hand of someone who's like 40 years old, that's what it looks like. So but
need to put some lotion. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
just like look at the hand, just like, oh god.
No, you could just tell the veins and the skin texture. Oh. I don't know. I'm an artist. I'm a detailed guy. I notice that kind of shit. I'm like, this is not a young person's hand that's grabbing this thing.
He's watching the thing. He's like, wait a minute.
The whole time I'm just focused on hands. Just like
now you sound like salad finger hand, like hands.
All the comedy goes over my head, and I'm just like, man, those hands were so weird. But yeah. So Chad is an awkward person. I'm just totally assuming here, might be autistic.
Might have Asperger's.
might have Asperger's or autism. Definitely not self-aware. Has issues with self-esteem. Thinking that he's not cool enough. He wants to be American.
That could just be being a teenager, to be honest. That was like legit everybody in the world. We were like, hey, I understand that you're having prepubescent hormones. Go out in the world.
Like in the that is one way to interpret it, because he's all over the place. And like his mom is single because the husband lives back in Iran. And they're like separated, so she's, in the first couple episodes the whole thing is that she's dating, and she's
single and ready to mingle.
Yeah, she tells him that, oh, don't worry, he's a Persian guy, and he's like, Mom, you're dating a Persian guy? I don't want people to think that we're more Persian than we are. It's already bad enough. And like the interactions with him and his mom and his sister as well. Like he calls his sister says something to him that's like rude, and he goes, "You dumb bitch," and his mom goes, "Hey," and he goes, "Not you, Mom."
I would never call you a dumb bitch, but that dumb bitch of a sister,
Yeah.
dumb bitch.
And it's like the cringiness is evident in all of these episodes. Although, now at first I thought I was going to be turned off to it from the beginning. I was like, oh, this isn't the type of comedy that I enjoy. But throughout the first episode, I was like, wow, yeah, no, I was laughing at a lot of that. Then I watched the second, the third. So far, there's really only been like one so-so episode that I just didn't like. But aside from that, like, I think it's pretty funny. There's just funny shit that happens. Like, I'll just tell you the premise of one episode. Not even just what happens, but just the premise. His sister, well, okay, Chad goes to the mom and says, I want to be able to babysit the little sister because they have babysitters for Chad, but it's like this super stereotypical like white Christian family. Like, we're going to pray before we eat, Chad. We know that you're Muslim, but we will respect you at this table. You know what I mean? Like,
I love it. Like, I know where you're
a Muslim, right? But
well, we were going to respect you by making you do a prayer in Christianity.
Yeah.
Pray to our God, you just piece of shit.
But yeah, so he's like, Mom, we don't need babysitters. I'm old enough to watch her. Just let me watch her. Like, I want to be a man. Blah blah. And the mom's like, okay, Chad, I'll give you one shot. Watch your sister. So he's watching her, and like, not even. He's doing a horrible job. He's on a fucking he's on one of those what are they? The hoverboards. And he's just like going around the freaking living room while she's watching TV, and then she's like, I think I'm going to go to bed early, and he's like, okay. And just lets her go, and then he goes upstairs. He's like, hey, I was just wondering if you wanted some hot cocoa, and then he's like, oh shit. And she went out the window. So now she escaped and went to a friend's house. So he finds out.
How old is his sister?
Like 13 or 12. She's not much younger than he is. Like, she's.
Is she roaming? Okay.
Yeah, she's bouncing. She's going to her friend's house. So he goes and he finds her, and she's at her friend's house, but they're all drinking. Like, we're talking, this is some underage drink. And Chad is like, Chad's like, how could you be doing this? But then he realizes with his own self-esteem issues, he's like, oh no, they're gonna think that I'm lame, and they're younger than me, so I gotta put up a front. He's like, yeah, I've drank before. Yeah, I'm totally cool. And it's like, and so he has to like put on this front, and then they realize that he never drank, and they're like, Chad, do you want us to give you your first drink? And he's like, all right. And then so it's just crazy things ensue in the show. But overall, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, warning, drinking does not make you cool. Whatever the command, like as a dare, just like,
the
don't
more
think
you know.
Yeah, okay, but what are you going to say?
Well, I was going to say that recycling is a big issue nowadays. So if you're using a bag at the supermarket, use a reusable bag. Oh my
god, I remember those commercials. They were so crazy, dude. I've never been taught, like, I think for, like, most of the 2000s was just, like, recycle, damn it. Put it in the, like, I had to learn about different colors. Like, now, which I always found it funny. It was like, this is the recycling for aluminum. This is the recycling for this. I'm like, do you not believe people do that? People just shove all the recyclables into a thing, and even when they have a pizza box, it's like, is grease recyclable?
Like, grease is not recyclable. Do not recycle grease. Lincoln's thinking back to all those times you just threw nasty ass like pizza boxes in the blue bin. It's like, fuck it, it's cardboard, right? But the rules state, Section A, Part 1.357.
You might be right. It's just like,
no, that is true. If you have cardboard that has like food and grease and stuff, you can't recycle it. But people do anyways. It just happens.
Just like runs somebody's like, I'm so sorry, Earth.
It's like global warming caused Lincoln Edwards' pizza habit.
Well, see, the part people will be like, "Oh shit, you should be afraid because people will come after him." But I don't know. Big business will be like, "That's our kind of guy."
Hey, look.
I'm gonna be a CEO of a company I don't know what the fuck we even make.
Hashtag cancel Lincoln was trending in Japan, but now due to this global warming thing, it is trending worldwide.
Like, yeah, cancel me. See what that does. Still human.
Time magazine. What is worse, coronavirus or this man? And it's you eating the pizza and putting the box in the blue bin. You're like,
hearing the man. He's the man. He's the man.
Yeah.
We did not endorse this, by the way.
When we reached Lincoln for an interview, he started dancing to the man by the Killers.
That is pride up the ass. You're like, you think I did a mistake? I just did a Wednesday.
I just did a Wednesday. I like that. I like that. I'm going to write that down somewhere.
You think I did a mistake? I just did a Wednesday. Just walk away. I'm like, what the fuck? But yeah, Zach. So Chad, watchable, cringeworthy.
Yes. If I can give it, it's not over. It only has like a few episodes left. But if I could give it a rating, I'd say like a 6.5 to a 7. It's okay. It's not like the best comedy you should go out of your way.
You're just like,
but it's not bad
tears
either.
wearing down my eyes. A somber feeling hit my. Are you writing it down?
You're damn right I am.
I'm gonna find out there's like a mini section of fans and like Lincoln says a lot of random shit. We wrote it down, and then it's gonna come back at me like when I'm 40 or something, and I'm trying to be a president of something like, do you remember back in 2020 when you said COVID wasn't real? I was joking.
Oh god. Cue up the footage. Oh wait, we don't have editors. All right, so
I actually have never said that because of course the virus is real. It's a virus. Like, I did love the fact that people were like, "No, it's not real. They made it up." I'm like, "They made up a virus?" Even though you could technically make a virus, that's why we have a whole part of the Pentagon where we like store bad shit in. Which I don't know how you. I guess if you try, like, I'm pretty sure most of the viruses was us trying to cure the common cold, because that's how a lot of shit gets to be like, oh, I made. It's like, oh, did you cure the common cold? I made malaria. Shit.
Well, again, Steve.
I made a better strand of malaria. Like, this one can't be cured by the malaria vaccine. I made the malaria vaccine, by the way. It gives you cancer. Why would you do that?
The vaccine I created gives you a different condition that I need to create a vaccine for, so I guess I'm still employed.
I guess
right.
Oh my god. Speaking of COVID, though, I did get my first shot, so I'm ready for the second one.
Welcome to the club. I got the cards right here.
Wait, didn't you get your second one already?
Yeah, this is the whole.
So you got your. So now you can be like, no mask, don't need a mask, don't need. Which is. I mean,
I'm still wearing one. I'm still wearing one just because I don't trust other people. So.
No, but I love it how they're like, okay, if you're vaccinated, you can now not wear a mask. Aside from every other place that would, it's like, still, if you go to Publix, you need to wear a mask. If you go to the airport, you need to wear a mask. If you go on this, you need a mask. Going to school, you need a mask. I'm like, then I'm just vaccinated for my sake, so I don't have to like constantly go, this tickle my throat. Oh no, dude, for the first month, that was legit. Like anything, you're like, I have the COVID. It's like, no, you're probably just tired because you didn't sleep. Nah, I have it, man. I got full blown
COVID, man.
I got COVID 2.0. Like, that's not even a thing. My COVID's so bad, it's COVID 20. Like, no. But anyway, I don't have COVID, by the way. Like, just have one part of the vaccine.
One fact.
Which was weird because when I took the vaccine, I realized, like, I'm like, I haven't taken a shot in 10 years. Now, like, because I didn't remember, oh yeah, your arm gets numb, and you don't know why. You're like, why does it hurt? Like, it shouldn't hurt like this. I don't remember it hurting. Like, yeah, because you took the TB when you were like in high school. But yeah, so Zach, tell them where they can find you.
Well, you can find me, W. Von Lewis, Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr. You can find the show, which last week I brought up the fact that the entire run of the show, I messed this up. I said Moshi Moshi Pod, Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr. That is incorrect. It's Moshi Moshi Pod on Twitter, Moshi Moshi Podcast Desk on Instagram. I think it's Moshi Moshi Pod on Tumblr. So, we have a YouTube. So if you're watching this, it's probably on YouTube or it's on Twitch. So if you're on YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell, blah, blah, blah.
Hit the bell, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon so you know anytime we post a new episode, as we keep posting these episodes and the episodes of Pick a Side, and eventually we will do a tournament.
And the podcast is everywhere.
Everywhere as Audible, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and Podcore.
ASMR.
I don't know actually how it's, because I never hear myself when I do this. Like, I skip. But anyway, well, I'm probably not gonna watch the episode until I like do what every other YouTube does, like when they've been like 5 years or so, when they like start doing compilations. Like, I don't even remember I said that. But yeah, so you can find me at Cheetador, which I probably will have that Twitter until the day I fucking die, or when Twitter fucking ever ends. Which I thought was gonna happen like 5 years ago, to be honest. Like, I'm still surprised Twitter's still a thing. But and also I do have my Facebook, Lincoln Washington Edwards. Again, another thing I'm surprised is Facebook, because I guess the Russian bots haven't fucked it up enough, or people. I always love those goddamn things. You have one mutual friend. Stop it. But with everything else in this world, get vaccinated if you can. Well, it's free, so you really don't really have an excuse. Like, just take. Unless you're allergic to something, which I love it how they put that shit, like, you could be, if you're allergic to this, like, I don't even fucking know what this is. We're just gonna find out when you stick me. Like,
right.
Like, that's how that's going to be. Who the fuck knows what they're allergic to? Like, they had to have had a reaction. That's how they know they're allergic. It's like, huh, no wonder if I get peanuts, I explode. But yes, BFN, bye for now, babies.
And pork chop. Hope you get better, Julian. That's. Yeah, I thought you were gonna say something. That's what you just.
No, I just literally was like, yeah.
You're just like, yes.
What I'm gonna be like, when I'm gonna one up you on this, like,
oh.
Unlike him, I hope that you have the greatest life you have ever had. I hope you beat this thing and that you will always be free. You're still recording.